Hello, hello. I'm Asher Ninja, and it would seem that Total War Warhammer 3 has snuck up on us and released without any fanfare or excitement or anything. Nobody pre-streaming it or anything like that. Totally didn't happen. So, this is kind of what you get now. Only got 8 different ones we can play. I'm going to do a start guide on our friend in the fridge, lovely guy, all round happy man to give you a hug, Khorne. He's got his nice house made out of skulls with a overlooking a pond of blood where he fishes and generally just hangs out in a towel. So, and of course, Khorne means we're starting with Skarbrand, who basically, as he got a bit too big for his britches back in the day when he was the most powerful of the bloodthirsters, Tzeentch kind of tricked him, and he ended up throwing one of his axes at Khorne's back. So Khorne punished him, tore up his wings, which you can see is still torn up now, which is why he can't fly, and threw him into the mortal realms to, go and redeem himself. So since then, he wanders about the place, killing stuff for Khorne and himself. So, his faction, his armies replenish in foreign territory, which is super handy. He does not get along well with other Khornate forces, doesn't play well with others. He has a campaign movement range plus 25% after raising a settlement. That's all the characters in that, which is pretty good. His campaign movement range for him himself is plus 35% after winning a battle, which is excellent. And his recruitment cost is minus 35% when he's in an enemy or raised territory. So that's actually applying to not local recruitment, but the global recruitment, of course. This is, as you can see, on Legendary, very hard. He starts up sort of over here. You've got like Slaaneshi guys over here. Nurgle's somewhere over here, I think. Can't remember. Ogres are way down here, etc., etc. But I'm going to start with the Skarbrand campaign. Here you've got things like your settings and everything, which is pretty good. And you can actually have a look at all of the various units and spells and everything for all the different lords of magic and that sort of stuff. So you can actually have a look at things like Skarbrand and what his stats are going to be like. Same with all your infantry and your beasts and all that sort of stuff. Blood Shrine of Khorne, pretty awesome. I really like them. Let's go back to selecting the race. No, don't get that. We're back here. But we'll start the campaign off now. Now there is a cutscene. I'll let it play once this finishes loading. Our advisor is back. I don't really like his voice that much. I'm not really one that enjoyed that particular voice actor's work, but I know other people enjoy it, so that's, it is what it is. You can actually turn the voice of the advisor completely off for in-game things, but I'll leave it on this time. I had actually turned it off for Warhammer 2, but yeah. So on the plus side with this, once it's actually loaded, you still hit a continue here. So, yeah, I'll just let this play though.
Jagged rocks and rivers of fire. Here I found the greatest of all bloodthirsters. Bones of all that walked or crawled littered his lair. Skarbrand, raging gun. I had but a moment to make my case. The time it took to sharpen his murderous blades.
Don't actually know how you'd sharpen those properly, but anyway.
Harvesting skulls to earn the forgiveness of his master, the Chaos God, Khorne. The skull of Ursun would gain his favor.
What do you know of Khorne's favor?
Nothing, mighty Skarbrand. I am but a servant, ready to aid your slaughter.
I can smell the magic on you, seer. I'll take your skull.
Why take mine when you can have the skull of a god? Let me guide you through the maelstrom to where Belagor imprisons the bear. Take his skull. All I want is a drop of Ursun's blood.
Keep your skull. Give me the bear. One skull for the throne. The rest are mine to collect.
When axes are that jagged, it's pretty hard to actually sharpen it. Not really much point. I'm sure he'd rather rend and tear. Yeah, we take the bear's head. We don't need to listen to him here. We're not that desperate for his company. Now, so, Servants of Chaos, especially of Khorne, will automatically wage war on any non-chaos faction you encounter. So, as soon as you encounter Cathay Empire or whatever, you're automatically at war with them. So that's cool. So, that whole being at war with them, very easy. You want to collect skulls. They're one of your... so you end up with getting favour and skulls. And you can get from battle and chaos cults and raising settlements and all sorts of stuff. There's apparently skull piles about the place, but I think that might just be a raising settlement sort of thing. Armies of your faction accumulate bonuses as you win battles and that sort of stuff through here, through your bloodletting technique. So these actual like things like your growth is for all provinces. Your upkeep minus 20% is just for that army, but casualty replenishment rate is all armies, which of course means if you've got a whole bunch of armies up there with your plus 4%, they all sort of add together, so you can end up with a massive replenishment rate. Global recruitment as well changes it, and etc, etc. So you start off in this range here, so a slightly lower upkeep. You don't want to go down here. But where am I going? Here it is. Go back, mouse. So yeah, so you start off here. No extra corruption. Your global recruitment time is down, so if you're actually doing globals, it's the same as that, so it ain't too bad. Great game, Cornet faction participate in the great game, but more in the just killing each other side of things. At the start, of course, you're also going to get a whole bunch of missions. Starting with this one, defeating the enemy belonging to this faction, which is these guys, of course. So for some money, some skulls, and you get a hero as well. Yeah, that looks like that one. Wars to come, yep, usual stuff. Diplomacy has changed a bit, so you've still got your normal way of doing diplomacy, where you can just, you know, initiate diplomacy, talk to them and that sort of stuff. Gives you a bit of an indicator of your chances of various things. But you can also do quick deals, where you can actually see your deal chance over here, and you can just kind of pick. And it keeps like the one at the top that you're more likely to be able to talk to. So we're not going to get a confederation with a bloody sword at the moment, but that's okay. So that's your diplomacy. There's not really much you want to do as Skarbrand for diplomacy. Technology wise, you've got sort of a few different ones you go through. As you go through each one, you unlock another one. Along the way, you also have to spend skulls to actually get them, essentially. So this thing's like that's like not too bad. Extra things there and that sort of thing. Up here, we've got things like skull harvesting. That's not bad because you main income you're going to have from Skarbrand is actually from battles, but we're not going to start with that particular one yet. So income from raiding. You get a standard that gives you some regen when you're in combat, extra skulls per turn, but minus 10 diplomatic relations with everyone, not too big a deal. Upkeep minus 5% for Chaos Warriors and Khorne units, Chaos Warriors of Khorne, not and Khorne, and spell resistance, and of course this one here. So one of the things that the Khorne faction has as faction thing is you don't have to colonize. you will automatically colonize ruined regions in your province at random times and things like that, as long as you control their province capital and you're the one that's been doing the raising. You'll kind of suddenly it'll be your settlement sort of thing. But I'm going to start with serial killing because at this stage having lots of campaign movement range is a good idea. So we're going to go with that. So that's where we spend some of our skulls. Other spending on skulls is in here. So the skull throne. So it costs you 2,000 skulls. You get 25 extra movement range after raising a settlement. Income from post-battle loot is increased by 25%. You've got 2 uses of summoning some bloodletters, and your blood hosts get an extra 2 units when they're created. So you kind of want to keep this running. So it has a 10 turn cooldown and it's activated for 10 turns. So you can basically constantly keep it running, but it means you've got to constantly keep the skulls coming in as well. So before we do anything else, I'm going to start that one off. Make sure we get maximum amount for all of our battles. We can have a look at our unholy manifestations as well, where you can summon a small hostile army that will attack your army immediately. And then you've got certain other things that will get you bonuses and things like that. So I don't think I can actually perform that. Oh, that's right, I need to actually select an army to be able to perform it. So it's all good. So you kind of have to build up certain corruptions and that sort of stuff. As you go through, it'll summon an army that's more powerful and you get better rewards, etc, etc. But for the moment, what we want to do is take our little army and let's do our initial battle. So as you can see, it's not a huge army. It's only, what, 5 units, 6 units, and like 5 units, yeah, against our slightly bigger army. And we've got summons and that sort of thing as well. Now, the auto-resolve does say it's a decisive victory, but because of the and low casualties, but the idea of that of low casualties and my idea of low casualties are 2 very different things. And your casualties are not low. So auto-resolve on your higher difficulties at the moment is a bit, well, I'll say shit. I'm sure other people would say something else, but it's annoying, but that's okay. So let's just get hooked straight in. I've done this battle a few times in my practices and set up. So let's see how we do this time around. So let's see if we can get kind of everything there to surround Skarbrand a bit. Here, you're going to go after them. We're going to use them as a flanker over there. You head down that way for flanking. You guys continue to advance. Keep on after them. Oh, so we'll send them over this way. Send you there. Doggos, let's get you flanking on them, please. You're going to come at the back of them. We're going to get our bloodletters to come in and assist as well. We'll get them to assist Skarbrand, I think. We've already got 2 units over here. They're kind of fleeing, so that's good. So we'll just let all of this kind of destroy that stuff. And Skarbrand actually does have an ability where he can make enemy units rampage, but I'm not going to do that. I don't think that's really a very good ability, to be honest. Let's get them in there. This one's a nice ability though. Horn of Corn increases your melee attack by 24 temporarily, so makes it very difficult for you to miss at times. If you can get Skarbrand to attack the Lord, that is. Or is he just going to stand there like a fucking Gumby on a rock? There we go. Beautiful. Let's do a little bit of chasing down. Don't want their forces really getting away from us. I want to make sure we can get a few extra kills for some of these guys. Didn't lose too many, I don't think. Go on, go get them. You can catch them. I know you can. Oh, I selected the wrong one. I meant to select the doggos. They might not be able to catch them. Oh well, it's alright then. That's my bad. My bad. 25 losses is okay. Bloodletters actually do really well. Oh, the blood crushers, I should say. Bloodletters aren't too bad as well, though. I really like the blood shrines. They can really get stuck into stuff when they're in a bit of a mob. They've got a good amount of mass to them, so they do pretty well against standard infantry, and they are anti-infantry anyway. So 312 favour. It actually tells you how much experience you get for your lords now, how many skulls I got, which is good. It just kind of gives it all here. Oh, hello, collar of corn. Jeez. Yeah, that's a nice way to start. Now, I can get more skulls, but I think I'll get just that little bit of replenishment, because with his death... There we go. That's our mission successful there. Collar of corn stays on him. New mission. Send your hero to join your army, which I'm going to do anyway, but I'm not actually going to get him in the army this turn. It slows down what I want to do and what I think you should actually do in this. Now, here is where things get a bit different. So, you get a Blood Reaper. He's pretty good. He's not a bad guy for just hacking stuff down. You can either get him on a Blood Throne at some stage or on a Juggernaut. I haven't really sussed out which is better yet. I kind of like the idea of him on a Juggernaut though. But as you can see, Skarbrand can now reach the Brass Citadel. And if we give him a Route Marcher, which is what I want to do for leveling him up, we can 100% get to the Brass Citadel. And that is exactly what we want to do. So first turn, 2 battles. Good plan. A good plan. Now you can, again, auto-resolve this one. It'll take a fair bit of damage. As you can see with the auto-resolve, nothing's flashing red, so you won't lose anyone. You don't have the replenishment to really take that much damage. So, I've got to fight this one as well. So this is a first look at one of the settlements. I quite like the settlement fights themselves. I don't know about the towers you put up in them. I'm a bit about that. I haven't done a defense yet though, so that could be a whole different ball game there. I haven't played this as much as I'd like to. I've been concentrating on really getting this video essentially ready, so that I can start off the Khorne campaign. So I'm going to do a full campaign of this. This is essentially the start of it. This is, in my opinion, the best way I've found to start off Khorne. Now, as you can see, it's now 360 view of the town. They will put down a barrier. I'll actually come through here, because what they can do then is they can put a barrier up on one side, which will inevitably be this side. And we can send all of our cavalry through the other. He's speed 68. I'm actually going to throw... Normally I actually do this a little bit differently. I'm going to change it up this time. Normally I actually send him through here where they'll put a barrier. But sometimes it's a bit iffy. So anyway, let's get into it. So they're going to go attack the barrier. These boys are going to come and come around here. Now that's one of their towers. I think it can only fire down there. It's not too bad. He actually hits these wall things really hard as well. But yeah, with that much ward save and physical resistance now, I don't really feel I need to worry too much about him getting wrecked by things like towers. Mostly marauders that are in here, so I think we'll be able to do a fair bit of damage here. Oh jeez, already destroyed the building. Fucking smashed it, Jesus. Haven't had that happen that quickly before yet. So let's pile our stuff in here. Actually, we'll send you guys to go off and flank him. Both if you go after him. You come in, we want you inside the big melee here. We're going to summon a unit of bloodletters and chuck them in at the back. So we'll basically surround him with a blob. In we go, get them in there as well. Yeah, it's absolute slaughter and mayhem here. And just to add insult to injury, let's give everyone a bit better attack. Looks like they're going to get a rear charge in, but we might just redirect these boys and these boys over there. Until all of those foes seem to be getting destroyed a bit too quickly. So let's go this way. When you do it right, Khorne really destroys things. Looks like the doggos took a bit of damage though, but that's alright. They're not really very good. What we want is Khorne doggos. They're much better. We lost our summoned unit, which is fine. Can they rally? Probably not. Let's send you after that. You can go chase down some stuff. You can too. Doggos. Turn off everyone's thingy. So that they can just chase down everything as they feel. And there we go. So as you can see, they actually had a unit of Marauder Horsemen over here that never engaged. So, which does give us an advantage when it comes to these kinds of fights. So if they're not if we're engaging everything, they're not engaging a few things, we're going to win through. Well, so 32 losses on that's probably actually the best I've done in that battle yet. As you can see, those Skull Crushers absolutely do what they say on the tin. 131 and 121 kills. Absolutely wrecking it. Harder battles are to come for Khorne though. Again, good amount of experience, which is good. The extra loot's always good. We're getting up into this sort of area, which is nice. We don't want to have any decay from inactivity. Now, so we can have a few options here. We can occupy, which costs us 2,500 skulls, but I don't see why we'd do that when we can get it for free. We can sack it and get some cash. We can raise it and get 1,000 skulls, or we can raise it and get an army. So basically this will give us an army with a few stuff in it. Some extra Winds of Magic power, which we need Winds of Magic because otherwise it weakens our armies, I believe. So we're going to raise it and that'll get us a little army here. It can't move at the moment, but that's okay. Skarbrand's going to come down this way for us. Yep, he's going to stomp. Yes, we do have to pay an upkeep for him. I think it's at like 50%. We've got no Skull Cannon in there, some Chaos Furies, a couple of spawns, Fleshhounds of Khorne. Ooh, some Exalted Bloodletters, nice. So that's all looking, it looks like a fairly nice army. You can't actually see if he's got any specific traits or anything like that. He is just who he is. You can't do much with the army, except use it to fight your battles. Now the main reason you want to do this, so we've just done it so that we've raised that. We're actually going to scout the ruins. We've just raised that. We've got no extra armies because down here at the Death Axe's monolith, which is our next target, we're already at war with them, of course, so that's good, is actually somebody recruiting an army. So we want to make sure that we can actually get in there and get stuck in properly. Now this is actually something that... So you can actually convert these into a portal. I haven't really looked into this bit yet. So, provides things for the garrison outside Ogre or Norscan homeland. I think I'm still going to stick with Dimensional Cascade rather than the Chaos Dreadhold, maybe. Local recruitment capacity is higher. Recruitment cost is lower. Construction cost for military buildings is reduced. Yeah, that's what we actually want. Because what we're going to do is we're going to head up to this so that we'll be able to recruit Fleshhounds. And we're also going to head up into this building here so that we can get Cultists of Khorne. Now we don't really need to go all the way up to here because we don't really need Gore Beasts of Khorne. And I don't actually want the Warriors of Khorne. Actually, because of that, what we'll do is we'll have a look in here. So here's where you can get like your Skull Cannons and your Blood Shrines, your Blood Crushers and your Skull Crushers. Over here's your Bloodthirsters and your Minotaurs of Khorne. And if the Minotaurs are anything like they are in Warhammer 2, they'll be excellent. You can get Minotaurs here as well. And that's where you get your Blood Reapers, so we want this building quite a bit. It increases your hero capacity as well, so lots of those buildings, please. And you got Soul Grinders over here. Now they do have a short range missile attack, and they're pretty good in melee. So, and that changes depending on which particular race you are. And there's also, of course, building bonuses, Khorne Corruption, hero capacity, and all the buildings seem to now generate income. But for now, we want this one because we want cultists. Because cultists are actually very, very good. I will also spend some points here. I'm going to give him Blood Feast for casualty replenishment. And we'll quickly go through what his various lines and everything do. So this is what would have been your blue line. So things like your recruitment cost minuses, your casualty replenishment rate pluses, income from raiding, corruption, specifically Khorne corruption rather than just chaos corruption, though apparently chaos corruption is also a good thing. You don't get as big a benefit out of it though. Unholy resilience, lightning strike, which has gone on for a bit of a change, so you don't actually just completely cut out your enemy reinforcements now, but they take longer to get in. You've got your upkeep lowering, you've got your attrition lowering, extra skulls, which is good for you, and of course upkeep lowering, campaign plus, all that sort of stuff. Always like Glamour of Skulls and that sort of thing. This one's got your red line as well. Let's go back to the start of this one. So still the same kind of thing. So leadership auras, then of course your buffs for your various units. You know, what are these ones? Bloodletters, Chaos Warriors, Fleshhounds, Gore Beast Chariots, and the Skull Cannons. Doesn't increase the damage the Skull Cannons do or their ammo though. Bloodthirsters and Soul Grinders. Be nice to have a Bloodthirster stack. I reckon they'd probably destroy. And especially because being flying units, you need to have something on the ground. You just have Skarbrand on the ground. Be all good. Kill for Khornes, actually, this one is better than they normally are in the middle. It's normally a bit of a rubbish one, but having a passive ability for a +5 melee attack aura is pretty good. Then, of course, you've got the next bonus up from that. So further bonuses to Bloodletters, etc., Bloodthirster, Chaos Fleshhounds, Skull Crushers, that sort of thing, and finally Soul Grinder, Skull Cannon, all that sort of stuff. And then Revel in Slaughter if you want to go for that one, and it's just a +3 on top of that one. Probably still not worth it. This line is his normal melee line, so it's the usual thing, but with Khorne you've actually got these as melee attack and weapon strength, then melee defense and weapon strength, leadership and weapon strength and physical resistance. So these are like, all of these are actually really good and will actually add up to his power a lot. What do we got? We've got his Bellow of Endless Fury, which is kind of a magic missile. Does a bit of damage, which is cool. All of these, again, hit points and weapon strength, speed and weapon strength, melee attack and weapon strength and charge bonuses. So basically there's a lot of weapon strength to really pick up from him. Then you've got his unique line. So Rage Incarnate. So that's just his... Basically, it's ramping up the ability he already has. Campaign movement range plus 15% after winning a battle, and he gets Vanguard deployment, so that's excellent. So you want that fairly early on. Wrathful Reaper is good. Basically, it's just more damage. Can't go wrong with that. Gore Feast, which is and extra loot from post battle. Don't forget that. All both very good, and it replenishes hit points when in melee. So with Vanguard deployment and that, you're doing pretty well, and you'll be able to keep yourself alive quite well, especially with that Choleric Corn I picked up. Like, damn. -6 control for local enemy provinces and core corruption, +4 for local province. You probably want that just for the corn corruption. -6 control is not really as exciting. Locus of Endless War, so your blood hosts get an extra 3 units on creation, which can be handy, especially when you're getting a lot of blood hosts, which I suggest you do. While it costs you money, they actually do absolutely demolish stuff. It's pretty cool. Your Brass Collar is just spell resistance, thick skin, missile resistance, and he can hate Slaneshi guys. So I think that's only really worth a point if you've got nothing else to spend, or if you're going to be really only fighting Slanesh, which I doubt you will. They've changed the way this all works as well. Basically, you pick it from here. You can see who's got it. You can actually just go across the top to your different guys now. And that's your magic items, that's your ancillaries, which I don't think I picked up any of yet. No. And it's can sort it by different things. And through this as well, if we had multiple magic items, you could actually select your 2, fuse them or salvage them, so you can turn it into money as well. I'll quickly show you the Blood Reaper as well. Fairly basic hero stuff. Everything like in Skarbrand, it's all, things like weapon strength and something sort of thing. He also has things like your abilities. You pick one of at level 13, either Locus of Wrath for 40 more melee attack in an area, 35 meters. Same sort of thing, but it's damage instead, or Abjuration, so extra spell resistance within that area. I don't know if I bother with that. I'll probably go for Locus of Fury. Then you of course got the option for Juggernaut, Blood Throne, and the usual Brass Collar, Thick Skin. That sort of hate things, and Immortality. Still got Deadly Onslaught and Foe Seeker as your options there as well. So that's how all that works. Now, when it comes to your next turn, as you can see, I'm going to lose money. I'm not too concerned about that. But what I'm going to do is, because there's not really a minimum now for putting them into this stance, so we're going to pop him in that stance, because I do want to grab just... Oh, maybe not actually. It'd be nice to be able to get another one, but no, I won't. And I'll actually just leave him in his normal stance. Now, from here, what we want to do is basically bring these 2 down. I will actually go through it end turn, so you can see how quickly it spams through the end turn. So instead of actually showing you everyone's shield that you haven't seen, it just absolutely just spams it. It's so quick. It's nice. So from here, he's actually got a relatively weak army, so we're going to move him up here. He's got quite a lot of movement, as you can see. So we're going to pop him just behind old Skarbrand here. Now you can't actually transfer these troops, unfortunately, so Got to kind of do it this way. I'm going to pop him into ambush stance, in the hopes those 7 will come out. But he probably doesn't think he can beat Skarbrand as he is, so... Which I don't think he'd be able to either, but you know. Alright, you're going to go to the Brass Glacier. Search the ruins, that's good, that was successful. Scout reports that the ruins are exactly as what they appear to be. No sign of life and your force is free to approach them without fear of attack. Okay. So I got nothing out of that. That actually really sucks. Wow. That's a huge disappointment. None of this will have changed. Our objectives. This is where we can see our missions. Victory conditions. Complete the 4 realms. And then you fight the last battle. You've also, if you do the long campaign victory, or domination campaign, you've got to do all that and control a certain amount of provinces and that sort of thing. Alright, now, will he come out to the bait? No, he didn't. That's alright. Now, let's find out. Oh, our ambush got foiled here. That makes sense. Now, the Blood Reaper can make it. She can't make it, sorry. Which is not good, but nevertheless, old mate can make it. That's good. Close defeat. Close defeat. That's interesting. So we'll encircle them with him. And we bring up the Doom Harvesters. Who can come up here? He's got it, you know, because he's got a couple of pretty decent units in there. Now we've got a valiant defeat. But, as you can see, one of the things that Slaanesh can do is he's taking over one of our Chaos Furies, which is a real bastard of a thing to do. So we want to try and avoid killing them. Yes, and that's where I'm actually going to leave the getting started guide. So this will give you like a nice solid little start to your campaign. If you don't go and search those ruins, you should actually be able to get the Blood Reaper into your army as well, which will give you a little bit of a boost. They kick some ass, so always a good option. They have some supplies, but they'll actually start attritioning straight away. So you do have the option of not fighting this battle as is. So we might never know. We might even see how that goes. So we'll encircle him. We'll go over here because we can, and we will get ourselves a cultist. Now we can get a cunning one, which is cunning has not changed, which is nice. Bludgeoning Slaughter, which is plus 4 weapon strength, 4% weapon strength, or Bad Hat. I don't know why it's a bad hat, but whatever. And that's a bringing more corruption in. I think I'll grab the cunning one. And I'll quickly show you the cultist in his skills as well, just before we do it. Usual lines in here for a lot of these guys. Doesn't have the plus damage for everything though. Can only get a Chaos Deed. The big things the things you'll like about the cultist is your Gate of Corn, so that you can summon Bloodletters, which is bloody nice. And your Greater Gate of Corn, so you can summon a Bloodthirster. So yeah, lots and lots of summons. We have low funds, so we'll have to fight that battle. But that'll happen in the next episode, where I'll actually start my campaign. So this is really will get you onto a pretty decent start, and then you've got to fight a battle. So hopefully you'll do well. Hopefully I'll do well. We'll just see how we go. I reckon we'll be able to cane them. Marauders aren't much. Even if they're Marauders of Slaanesh. I ain't concerned about that. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one. Hope this has been a helpful start guide, and hope you do well. Have a good one. Who's ringing that bell? Oh.